to That Wrestling Podcast.
It is your favorite wrestling podcaster's favorite wrestling podcast. It is That Wrestling Podcast, episode 202. And Brian's not here. Now, what's funny, we knew there was potential he could be late, and he texted us at 8:15 saying, I'll be on around 8:30. Well, as recording, we gave him 7 extra minutes. And guess what? Brian's not here, but Joe and Kevin are. Kevin, holder of the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Bash in Berlin's picks with an updated scoreboard with our guy Whip Dog, who, you know, I've been looking at a little more of his stuff like throughout the week. I'm in. If he goes back into the ring, I'm coming back to Detroit. I will make that roadie for that. So
I 100% agree. And if we can all do it, I agree. And kudos to him. Every guest picker we've had, phenomenal job.
Okay.
You can tell that he does that for a living, like hosts things, MCs things, has shows. Like he just brought a level of professionalism. And it seemed like he.
Oh, wait, so you're saying all the other.
No.
Saying all the pickers were not professional, including Joe's wife. Joe, I wouldn't take that.
Well, he was better than Joe's wife, but
come on.
No, but I just mean it
you are never getting cookies again.
All for me.
Well, I'm not going to comment on your wife's cookies, but I will.
They're awesome.
They're amazing.
It seemed like we all knew him, and it felt like he was messing around with everybody. It was just it felt awesome. It felt like
other than Brian,
I guess I did know him for like 20 years or something. But
I mean, other than Brian asking a black man if he had straps, I mean, way to go, Brian.
Brian was the bad boy of the night. But yeah, Whip Dog, great job. Deshaun,
that's why he's on timeout.
9 minutes later. Him, Joe, and myself, we're 4 for 5. It's really easy with these PLEs because there's only the 5 matches. You and Brian, 3 for 5. I'm sorry, Brian 3 for 5. Jay, you went 2 for 5. You almost had that extra point with KO, man. I thought he was really going to turn. There's that flirt of him turning, but
no, it was if Cody turned, I get
Cody
to be first place.
Oh, snap. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that didn't happen.
I was like, which one did you watch? Cody never looked like he was turning.
Right.
That didn't happen either. But the standings, just 1 point ahead of Joe, 44-43. Guest pickers 42. Brian 33 and Jay 24.
Cool. Well, I believe Joe and I were the only ones to be watching the Bash live. Is that right, Joe?
Yes, that is correct.
So what'd you think?
It was a typical like WWE like 5-match premium live event. It was entertaining throughout.
Yeah.
I can't say there was a bad match.
No.
I was entertained by every single match. Now the outcomes were rather predictable. I mean, we all went we went 4 for 5. I'm still kicking myself for not picking Bianca and Jade, but I just didn't think it was going to happen. So that was really the only surprise. It's hard for me to pick what was the best match because there were 3 real contenders for the match of the night.
I thought it was interesting. Cody and KO opened the pay-per-view.
It kind of had to, though. If you're not main eventing, it's the best spot is to be the opening match. So,
and what's interesting, Gunther's from Austria, but they kept saying Berlin was his home, and I'm like, is it? I'm not Mr. Geography, but is Austria and Berlin, Germany close? I don't know.
Austria is a country, and Austria is right next to Germany.
Yeah, but but whenever they're in Canada, and Bret Hart used to wrestle like in Toronto. Oh, Canada's own. It's like Bret's from here. It's like no, he's on the other side. Calgary. He's in Calgary.
But it's very close because when Laura and I went to Germany for vacation, take a 2-hour train ride to a castle in Austria. So
okay, gotcha.
So that whole region probably claims Gunther as his home. Plus, you know what I mean. Those countries aren't that large compared. So. Let them all have Gunther. He deserves it.
Geography podcast brought to you by Nerds, the candy. Joe had the best text message of the weekend, and it was just to me. Go ahead, Joe.
No, you say it because I want to hear. I want to hear if we're talking about the same one.
You sent me the text that said, why was this match better than the SummerSlam match? And then I didn't have a chance to reply, and you responded, no Seth Rollins.
Yeah, the CM Punk and Drew match was far and away better than the SummerSlam match. And remember, watching it live wasn't very good for us. Wasn't that entertaining?
Mm-hmm.
Except for Brian, who, like you two, almost had your own strap match. But then watching it on Peacock when I got home, it was better because it told more of the story. But then when it was this strap match with no Seth, you could feel their hatred towards each other. It was a real match. I absolutely loved the second match because the focus was on them, not the referee.
No bracelet, no Seth Rollins, no mystery surprise referee, none of that. It was a really good match. Now, the only match I have not seen is the mixed tag because I stepped away. I'm doing stuff at this new house, and I stepped away for about an hour, but I did see the finish of Randy Orton and Gunther, which I thought was a good finish. He didn't tap. He just passed out. So overall, a really great PLE, which led into Monday Night Raw. The reason I'm not bringing up NXT, I didn't watch it. Did you guys watch No Mercy?
I watched clips, like when you can see the little clips.
All right, so we'll get into that.
And,
yeah, we'll get
results.
Into that.
Results.
So I'm not going to pretend I know who Julia is or why it's such a big deal that she debuted. From what I've understood, she's a big deal in Japan. Now she's here. If Roxanne loses the title to her, which I think is what's going to happen on the CW, Roxanne needs to go to the main roster immediately. Like, lose the title in Chicago, go straight to SmackDown Friday night.
Why SmackDown?
I don't know, because Raw would have happened. Oh, yeah. Well, no, because it's going to be on Tuesday night. So why wait a week for her to show up on Raw? Put her on TV right away. Put her on SmackDown right away.
Okay, because I was thinking she would fit better with Raw, because I feel like there's too many on SmackDown, and Raw is really, the women's division is just really turning into Liv and Rhea, and I feel like they need something to freshen up the women's roster on Raw.
Okay. It's very heel.
Because look at SmackDown. You have Nia, Tiffy, technically Jada, and technically Naomi and Bianca, and you have Micho.
Jade, Bianca, and Naomi are baby faces.
No, but you have too many main stars on the women's roster on SmackDown.
She wouldn't be a main star. I don't know if she'd be a main star right away. I think that you make her the new girl, maybe the new mean girl,
But they already have that with Tiffy.
Yeah, but Tiffy's been getting her ass beat by Nia, and that's like her friend. So, I don't know. I just think that if we're so off already. I don't know why Julia is a big deal, but if it's a big deal and it makes the product better, cool. New tag champs, Chase U lost the titles, and my guy Ridge Holland turned on Chase U. Now, if you go back into the archives of this show, a few years back, we made this prediction about who was going to be the big star of WrestleMania 40. I don't remember what any of you said, but I said Ridge Holland. Now, I know NXT No Mercy is not WrestleMania 40, but Ridge is the man.
It happened the same year.
I think I said Braun Breaker.
Okay.
Back in the archives, which I don't think he was even on WrestleMania 40, but he is having a run right now. But
yeah, any other final takes on No Mercy? Because I didn't watch it. Kev, you watched highlights, Joe?
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah. So, okay, we'll move on to Monday night. Tess is Raw. Joe Tess Debut made his debut on the red brand. Main guy. I got excited when they did the lead in at probably 7:50. Monday Night Raw is in whatever city we're in. This are going to happen. Blah, blah, blah from Bash in Berlin. I thought he was great. Now, there was a couple miscues that I caught because I'm a psychopath and anything broadcasting. He said premium event, not premium live event. When they were doing the 6-person tag match, he said 6-team match. And then probably someone in his ear said 6-person match. But Joe Tessitore, home run.
Grand Slam. I say Grand Slam. It was. I loved the introduction Wade gave him.
Uh-huh.
I thought that was great. I thought the chemistry between those two was fantastic. Wade, when a brand new, and he's such a professional anyway. Joe is, so you knew it was going to be great. But chemistry,
not you, dummy.
Oh,
Joe Tessitore.
But
no, you're not.
I would say Joe T. But then, dang,
can't do that either. Joe Tess. Joe Tess.
Hey, him and Wade, man, the chemistry. Like I gave it a grand slam. I thought the commentary was great. Play-by-play was fantastic. He showed he belonged there. And I love the introduction. The introduction by Wade. And then when he went there and people were cheering him, like,
yes.
If you can get the WWE universe, especially the live crowd behind you, that is amazing. And I grand slam.
Joe?
People have to have been happy.
Okay.
Well, not everybody's happy, but Joe, we'll get into that. Joe?
Don't hate me.
Are you? Am I going to have to kick you off this show again?
No.
Are you going to be suspended for the next 2 weeks?
You want Jimmy Smith back?
No.
No, Jimmy Smith was great. It's Adnan Burke that wasn't good.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Joe Tessitore.
Yeah. Okay.
Joe T. Talk about Joe T.
He had a bad intro. I love they made him a big deal. I love Wade introduced him. I loved when they said commentators on the bottom and had the whole team making it look legit. I loved all of that. There was one thing, and it was the first thing he said that bothered me, and I'm like, oh, God, it was cringe. When he did the cheap pop. You guys sound like you're at a Denver Broncos game. I was like, no, don't be that guy. That was my own, like, when he was in front of the crowd, not at the table, not with the headset on, not calling it, but when he just had the microphone in his hand, being in there.
That's what it's there for.
I think he got excited. He got a little too excited, and he thought that's what we wanted. And I'm like, don't do that. No, I mean, it wasn't. It didn't bother me. It didn't bother me like, Jeff Harvey, but it was a bad first impression, but it definitely turned around. That's why I'm saying it's not a home run. It's not a grand slam.
You're not a home run, Joe. You're not a
never
grand
said
slam.
I was. I'm a singles and doubles wins games. Home run, going for home runs loses.
You're a fucking strikeout. Jesus Christ.
I don't think so. Oh, because I said that him.
This is John Cena wearing the colors of the town's teams.
Yeah, how'd that work out for him? How'd that work out for him?
He's pretty awesome, so I guess it worked out.
But it was a bad start. He had to
You're a bad start.
Have a bad finish too. It's all good. But the point is, look at that. I said, don't hate me for this, and you're like, you're already like not listening to me.
I thought we turned a corner
last week
at SummerSlam.
Yes.
We shared a room. We went through the battles of SummerSlam weekend together while the other two had all the comforts of the 16th floor.
That was great.
With air conditioning.
You do this, and then you do this.
I'm not dogging him. I said he did great on commentary. When he was sitting there and calling the matches and the way they made him a big deal. Great. But that first line just I couldn't get past it for a little bit. But then I just got into the show. I'm like, this is the guy. This is the guy that is going to lead them. But no one has a good first show. Let's go back and listen to episode 1.
I might go put my referee shirt on. You guys. But let me ask you this, Joe. Okay. So it started off rough for you. Raw was packed. Lots of fun stuff. Did Raw at least improve in your eyes after the introduction and the cheap pop in your eyes?
I just said that. Yes, it did.
Yeah, you just said
what else? What else on
and
the show?
And the thing is, if he really wanted a cheap pop, he should have known where he's at, and he would have said Avalanche fans instead of Broncos. They were in the home of the Avs.
Yeah, but CM Punk was gonna do that later. So I mean,
but did he? I don't think he did.
Yes, he did. He did. He always makes sure to bring up a hockey guy. But the big complaint about Tessitore online was they thought he was monotone. I didn't hear monotone. Now, granted, he wasn't like he was on Holy Moly. And if you want to see this guy work, go watch Holy Moly. It's my favorite.
Did you see
show.
the sign behind him for most of the
No,
shows?
what was the sign?
Holy moly! There was a holy
Love
moly
it.
sign for. I thought of you automatically every
Love
time I
it.
saw the holy moly sign.
I love Holy Moly, but they have a bias against left-handed golfers. Go watch the tape.
Holy Moly is fantastic because it sets up also to kind of crack jokes and make fun of the golfers. Do you think Holy Moly is also, it's not live when they make the comments, so they watch it and then they make the comments after? Raw's live, so
Yeah.
people give them a damn break.
Yeah,
It was his first show.
And I was World Wrestling edible for Raw.
Oh, that's why you're mad.
And to me, and maybe it's just different, like he seemed like his voice was very big. And I don't like what I mean by that is just the it just seemed like he had a big voice compared to what Cole does. But the thing with Testator, he would not be 23 minutes late when he said he'd be here at 8:30. Like Brian.
Hey, I know you guys. You're the good bad guys of wrestling podcasts, and you're bad.
No, we didn't do that.
No, we are your favorite wrestling podcast. So
Okay.
You can
that's who
also
we are
call,
now.
You know what, Brian? You can also call us your punctual pals.
Full transparency, I would have been on at least 10 to 15 minutes earlier. Again, full transparency. My wife got me blazing sauce of Buffalo Wild Wings.
Oh, your
And
butthole's going to hurt.
I had one, and I've spent the last 10, 15 minutes alternating between milk and ice water, or else I was just in
I
tears.
thought it was a beehole emergency.
No.
That's
I
later.
literally just
So that's tomorrow.
at like
You
8:30.
Spoiler alert. Take
Oh.
tomorrow off.
I gotta throw them out. I could barely get through one.
Do you work tomorrow?
I work from home though, so thankfully.
So what I would do, Brian,
Enema with milk.
I would eat them all
no.
and then deal with the consequences later because going down, they're really good.
It was tough. I mean, I had like 2 glasses of milk, this full of ice water.
Does the milk actually work? I've never tried that because I'm not a pussy. I think I just found our Texas challenge next year for All In.
Yeah.
That Hot Ones podcast.
I'll lose.
Yeah. The milk
I'm not man enough
is
for blazing
what
it.
you need.
Well, you said 8:30. It is 8:54, and you just got here. So we're talking about Raw and Joe Tess debut. Of course, Joe's the fucking downer who didn't like him.
Oh no!
I said one thing. One thing.
He's jealous about having the same sort of name.
Yeah.
No, that's
Perfect
not it.
timing.
No, I said one thing, and I want to hear your comment. I'll tell you what the one thing is closely, and you'll probably agree with me.
I don't think he will.
I think he will.
I thought it was a really good debut. He's very professional, right? He's a guy I've been hearing doing college football and boxing for years and years. I thought initially when Rhea got her foot trapped in the rope and Liv was kicking her, his outrage was a little too much, a little over the top, like, what is she doing or something. But I thought it got better as it went on. And there's just a couple of times where he messed up some names.
Yep.
I don't know. Did you guys say how he said? I don't even think it was like in reference to a team, but he was like, "This is the Hurt Business." Did you catch that?
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, I'll try to find it and send it to you guys. So that
Brian,
was a weird one.
So Brian, what do you think Joe's negative about Joe Tessitore was? Just take like 10 seconds to think, because we're not going to do this all day because he already said it. What do you think it was?
I'll say not knowing all the moves.
Nope.
No.
It was when he did the cheap pop of saying, "You guys sound like Denver Bronco fans out here," and that was his first line that he said. I thought that was weak.
Sure. Okay.
Well,
cheap pop.
I said he's better sitting down at the table.
Mm-hmm.
To keep him out of the ring.
We all thought Joe's take was weak. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
but
not striking him on that.
But more on Monday Night
Thank you.
Raw. We had two more qualifying three-way matches for the IC title. It ends up Dragunov advances as well as Braun Strowman, who was the replacement for Bronson Reed, who a week prior they tore apart the parking lot. And so we've got a four-way match coming, I believe, this week.
I think so.
And then, the
this
winner
Monday
of that four-way will get Braun Breaker. Do we really think any of these guys are going to defeat Braun Breaker?
Nope.
I think you can have a little angle for Jey Uso.
Mm-hmm.
We've kind of feels like we've been saying this for a while of your main event Jey Uso, but you never seem to win in the main event. So maybe someday he has to. I wouldn't bet on it, but I wouldn't completely rule it out.
Kev?
No. Braun
definitely
wins. And I think in the Fatal 4-Way, somehow Bronson Reed has to come and kind of screw over Strowman. I feel like Strowman's going to get hot, and you're going to see it.
So who wins the four-way? We'll start with Joe.
Dragunov.
Brian.
Jey Uso.
Kevin.
Jay. Uso, not you.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay, just throw that out there. Making sure.
I'm thinking Dragunov might be the one. I mean, he needs something more, and him and Braun Breaker have had matches before, and they are really good. So, one thing that I thought was weird about Raw, and if this happens, I'm not doing what I did before, even though I was the only one to pick Sammy to defeat Gunther for the IC title. Sammy challenges for the heavyweight title. Do we think this is going to happen, Kevin?
The match itself or Sammy winning?
Both.
Match, it will happen. Winning, absolutely. I want to see the absolute biggest beatdown if that does happen. And then let Sammy go away on vacation for a little bit.
Match happening, yes. Winning, no.
Brian?
I'm in agreement with you guys.
Okay. And then the main event of Raw was Finn and JD against Damian Priest and a partner of his choosing. We all know where this went. It was Jey Uso. After the match, social media does what social media does, and they filmed all the shit that happened post-match. I mean, look, I love Finn and JD. I think Tessitore threw a bobblehead joke somewhere in there, which was awesome. Do we think this is going to lead to anything Rhea Jey Uso? Because I hope it doesn't. I don't need soap operas in a male soap opera world. Can we just not do that, or what do you think is going to happen there, Brian?
Yeah, no, I think it's kind of a cutesy side story of that was fun. That was a fun, realistic when they had the backstage of Priest going to Rhea like, I gotta find a partner. I don't know, and Rhea went, I think I got someone, and Priest kind of did a, all right, tell me what he says. He knew it, right? He's not going to be an idiot and go like, oh, okay, Rhea, whatever you say. So that was fun. So I think keeping it on that level where they're kind of buddies, but yeah, I don't think I need to see anything more of a romance or a partnership. Just kind of a casual side thing is A-okay for me.
Joe, do you want the Jey Uso, Rhea Ripley love story?
No, Rhea's too over to rely on a man to be in a love story. She's her own person, and she's a leader anyway. So if anything, the guys are just basically following her. I mean, Damien's also a leader now too. But I thought, Brian, you were going to mention how Jey and Damien were talking backstage, and Jey was like, I get it. I was in the same boat as you. So, of course, beef is squashed. But no love triangle, no love anything. Rhea doesn't need anybody. She can be on her own.
And Kev, you've already facialized that we don't need to see it, so I'm not even going to ask you.
Joe said it perfect.
Okay. Cool.
Kudos to Joe.
So, Brian, this doesn't affect you because you don't know anything about Marvel.
Nope. John Cena was there.
Damian Priest was supposed to be Neymar in Wakanda Forever. And then it was taken away, but not by Marvel. Did you guys see Wakanda Forever? Brian, Joe, or Kevin, Joe, because we know
Mhm.
Brian didn't.
Yeah.
I loved it. I thought it was great.
More like Wakanda never.
It's been a while. It's been
I
a
give
while,
it an
Brian.
okay. It was okay.
Who do we think pulled the plug on Damian Priest as Neymar that wasn't Marvel?
It's tough because you want to say the big bad WWE, but that doesn't make any sense
No.
because
I
they let
somewhat-
Sasha Banks be on The Mandalorian.
But that's a small role. That would have been massive role. That's the number 2 person in that.
That's the bad guy.
Yeah,
in Wakanda
that's the
Forever.
number 1.
Spoiler.
Like Seth
Oh, was
Rollins
it
was supposed to
really?
be. Seth was
Wow.
supposed to be in the new Captain America. He did film, but it's not going to make.
And Becky Lynch is supposed to be in a Marvel movie
Yeah.
sooner or later, but
So I have to imagine it's WWE, and they knew that he was going to be skyrocketed to the main event, and you don't want to get hurt.
Joe, do you feel the same?
Probably that, or the fact of the fear of Marvel's its own beast. And if he would have got over with there, he could have left WWE like John Cena did, like The Rock did,
Like
and
Batista did.
like Batista did through Marvel. But yeah, I think it could be that way. But I don't want to blame the big bad WWE because it would have been good for their brand too. But I don't know who said no to it, and I don't know why it's being brought up now.
So, Brian, you have kids, right?
I got 2. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. You have Disney
Aren't you
Plus,
the godfather
right?
of one of them?
Yes, I am the godfather, but fuck off, man. You're fucking up my bit.
The audience doesn't know this. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, actually, they probably do if they've been here. But anyway, so you have Disney Plus, right?
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Every Marvel movie is on there.
Yeah.
If you would like, I will send you a Google document that says what order to watch these movies in. Your kids will love them.
Oh my god.
Except for Guardians 3, because that shit was fucking sad.
Oh no.
I won't let those girls watch that. But I just want to double check that you had kids, you had Disney Plus. And if you would like, I will send you the document of what order to watch the Marvel movies in, so that in the future, when we bring up Marvel, you can participate. Thoughts?
Hey, I'm all right with that. Absolutely.
Yes.
I must say though, the influence of this is fully immersing Harper right now. You guys know. Wait. Yeah,
the wrestling ring.
I gotta say one thing, and then I'll be right back for like 10 seconds to continue on. You guys know I was out of town for 2 days. Got in about 7:30. Girls' bedtime's about 8:15, 8:30, and Harper said, "Daddy, I want to watch wrestling. I want to watch wrestling." And so, like, she's
great parenting, right?
Fully
there,
into it.
Okay.
So we watched Rhea and Priest versus Dom and Liv from Bash on the Beach, which I hope you guys all thought was so fun. Such a fun match.
Bash on the Beach.
On that note, one moment, guys. Just give me like.
I'm gonna go grab a beer
seconds.
too. Brian, Kevin, Joe, talk amongst yourself.
What do you think?
So
Brian
what do you think
comes back with?
okay, a ring. What do you think the chances are
The
happening
ring is right
first?
behind you.
Brian watching the Marvels in order or getting a PS5?
On Friday, my wife took the girls out to, I don't even remember, Target or something, and they came home with this.
What is that?
That's called the WWE Superstar like entrance ramp thing, and I
thought it was a Thunderdome playset.
You got Nikki Bella who came with it, and like you come on out, like
she's into me.
She's into you.
And there's a table that breaks. You can break the table.
Okay, so is this your daughter's toy, or they buy it for you?
They bought it for like Harper was playing with it. Like, yeah, I mean, but she wants to play this with me, so we're
Did
gonna
you
play
show her my photo with Nikki and Brie?
No, I haven't yet. I will though. Thank you.
Yes.
So
that's amazing.
So yeah, so no problems with a future Marvel in order series, all about it. But I thought to share with you guys that after all this time, it's coming to real life now. It's cool.
And it's crazy. Like I thought Joe Tess on Raw would be the thing that got me most excited this week on this show.
Yeah.
Little did I know it's exciting that I found out you had kids, you have Disney Plus, and they're buying wrestling toys.
It also came with Ric Flair.
The Superstars line. Yeah.
Missing his lower half. It comes in.
Those are Remco.
I'm the nature boy. Hello.
And I have a basement full of stuff I'm getting rid of. So maybe some stuff will be coming your way for the ladies of your house. So, so I can't believe Damian Priest was almost Neymar.
Yeah.
In Wakanda Forever, which is great. I thought they handled the death of Chadwick Boseman very classy in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Very well done. And of course, I think we've talked about in the show when Chadwick Boseman died, like we were all genuinely shocked. I was at Fatburger in LA and I was just like, that is the first time a celebrity death was like, whoa, like, wow, couldn't believe that happened. So,
because no one knew he was sick, I don't think.
Nobody knew he was sick.
Yeah.
So
that was a shocker.
Yeah, it was a shocker, as is this news about Priest in Wakanda Forever. So let's move on to Dynamite. Now, originally I had the Mox promo as something I wanted to talk about, but it was cool, but I don't think it's worthy because the big story of Dynamite this week was Swerve bought his childhood home, which is great. An amazing story. Just for fucking Hangman to burn that shit down on TV that night, the same day. Like, Swerve didn't even have time to buy homeowners insurance. No fire insurance, no earthquake insurance, nothing.
That damn earthquake insurance.
It's a real thing, Kevin.
I know.
I paid it for 9 years. Shut your mouth.
Well, our ground doesn't move, so we're good.
So, this, of course, is leading to All Out, which we'll talk briefly about. But, like, it's Swerve and Hangman, and it just came out today that the Virgin, Tony Khan, has a unsanctioned steel cage lights out match. I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Like, do they have to
he does either.
Kill the other? Like, you have to kill your opponent? I don't know. We'll get into that in a little bit. But
maybe it's a cage. They turn out the lights and they set fire around it.
Ooh.
So an Inferno cage lights out match.
And
is it sponsored by Mountain Dew Pitch Black? Because they could add that to it.
It's a more like Tony's all out of his mind with these names. But I thought the angle was fun. Like it was surprising.
You did?
Yeah.
Now the best part of it to me was Swerve's acting.
Mm-hmm.
It was all edible wrestling night for me that night as well. Brian, and I guess I'll share with the friends. So I just got a hold of some 200 milligram gummies. For the last 2 years, I've been taking 10 milligrams.
Oh, step up.
So 200 milligrams, like you just sink into the couch. It's the best. It's the best. And you live in Michigan. They were purchased in Michigan. Yes.
Yep.
King of buds.
Legal here. You got it.
Joe, what did you think of the story that came out that, Swerve bought his childhood home and then they burned it down 6 hours later?
That was hilarious because it was all set up like that. What made it funnier to me was the outrage afterwards of people going like, oh, why burn the house down? That's arson. Like, you're taking away suspending disbelief and all blah, blah, blah. I'm like, but did anyone have a problem when Randy Orton burned down Bray Wyatt's cabin with Sister Abigail in there and he posed in front of it?
I had a big problem with it.
I didn't have a problem with it because it's just a show.
Yeah.
He burned a man's childhood home down.
He didn't.
He did.
How do you know that was really his childhood home?
Google Maps, asshole.
Did it say on top of there with the pin?
It's not there anymore.
Arson's a crime.
Today, arson is a real crime. Where were the police? Hangman should be arrested.
Oh,
much like that little girl that slapped MJF a few months ago in that
for assault.
Yes.
Okay. No.
Whose house?
Jason called 911. Hello. Yeah, there's a fire in the house. Whose house? Swerve's house.
Swerve's house. That No, it's entertainment. You know that Big Show's dad didn't really die in 1999,
I don't know
right?
that. We don't know that. And we also
Yeah.
don't know if Al Snow ate his dog either.
No, yeah, true. But
Rest in
no,
peace,
it's
Pepper.
a show. It's entertainment. It actually, like,
He
no pun
burned the man's
intended,
house down.
lit a fire underneath this
Yeah, under the
program that's
house.
been amazing since
Is
it
where
started.
Everything in wrestling is real.
he
burned
lit the
out-
fire
Oh.
under the house.
Mark Henry has a hand.
We saw
That's all
that
I'm
hand at the
saying.
20th anniversary of Raw.
Yeah.
That's right. He's all grown
God
up.
damn.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
It's silly,
guess
but I
gotta
love
have
it.
this.
I don't know.
This
I
is
loved
brought to
it.
you by the Magnet. It's still real to me, Dad.
That's right. I'll take care of that one.
Brian, what'd you think?
Yeah, I liked it. It is silly, but those two have a great feud. This is one of probably a top 4, top 3 AEW history feud. I don't know. I mean
okay.
that last match, or maybe it wasn't the last match, but that one pay-per-view match that they had where Hangman was literally drinking his blood out of Swerve's head. I mean, I was like, what the F? This is personal.
Yeah.
He got into Hangman's house, looked at his sleeping kid. So, yes, it's absolutely ridiculous, but I think it fits. And yeah, I loved it. It's completely over the top. It's completely ridiculous. I can at least check that box off when I say that, but I still loved it.
Well, it's
It's
nice
the
that you're
best
okay
thing
with
that's
arson.
happening.
Yeah,
It's the best thing that's happening going into All Out. It's the best feud. I mean, for a 2-week build, this one has me more interested than Swerve versus Bryan Danielson.
That
It
match
does.
though was really good though.
Right,
I mean,
but like this has more of a real feel to it. The other one was just a title match because it's like, it was a number 1 contender and they didn't hate each other. This one is hatred.
well, I feel like this feud's been going on for like a year now, right?
Right.
Yeah. It's in a
So
while.
they've had.
I mean, yeah.
This will be the 4th match. They
Yeah.
they had a 3-way with Joe, but they're
That's right.
So this
Yeah.
this could be the end of it. This is one of those things. But yeah, man, I can't believe Joe's okay with somebody burning down another man's childhood home. That sucks. So All Out is Saturday, and we're not going to do the full preview like we normally do. We don't pick, but it's another AEW pay-per-view that was, the last one was 2 weeks ago. By my count, I have 7 matches on this card. It might be more, but whatever. Pac versus Osprey. Quick thoughts?
Give me a
Banger.
banger.
That'll be great.
The Bucks versus Blackpool Combat Club for the AEW tag titles.
Pass.
Don't care.
Don't care. Mercedes versus Sheeta. Don't care.
Pass.
Don't care.
I think it'll be hopefully better than Mercedes versus Britt. But
The
just as long as it's
expectation is
on a
low,
good
so it
part of
can
the card.
only, the expectation's low, so I feel like that one has the ability to surprise maybe.
Right.
and this is where the downfall is of having this All Out show just 2 weeks after All In, where it's like these just so many of these matches kind of pop up.
Right.
So,
yeah, I'm not too.
Don't have her follow Osprey.
yeah, that's a good strategy.
I think Mercedes and Sheeta should be the number 2 match. If there's going to be a women's match prior to the main event, Statlander and Willow, I'm good with that.
Okay.
Because I think that's going to be a great match. If you watched Dynamite last week or Wednesday, I have a hard time thinking that Daniel Garcia is a tough guy.
Ooh.
Joe?
I see him as a good opponent, tough, but you can't have him go one-on-one on a microphone against someone like MJF. It just brings out so many flaws. That was my thing. I think that's why, because he just couldn't hold his own.
I'm glad he's not dancing anymore, but Brian, what did you think of the interaction? I mean, he talked, and then got taken out with 1 bottle shot to the face.
Yeah, AEW, good on them for trying to take another homegrown guy like Garcia.
Right.
never really clicked with me though. Like, I think he's okay in the ring. He gets a pop when he does do the silly dance.
I don't think he does it anymore.
I don't think he
Yeah,
does.
and that's fine. But yeah, I just, I need to see more of what I think other people are seeing from this guy, that people are backers of him, because it just hasn't met, what I would like to see, I guess.
Kev, any thoughts on Daniel Garcia versus MJF at All Out?
It just in shape guy, just the physique, like MJF totally transformed his physique and like looks the part. I want to be surprised by the toughness, maybe, because like Jack Perry, I would have never taken as tough when he was Jungle Boy, right? So then he hit the gym a little bit. Like Daniel Garcia's a fit guy. I just don't believe it. That's like you guys touch base on everything, Mike skills, like everything like that. I'm just purely going over looks. The dude looks good, but just not believable in that aspect to me yet.
One of the funnier things from that interaction was the MJF hits Garcia with the bottle. And then MJF goes, "Hey man, is it cool if I grab a seat here?" Or whatever he said to sit down next to him. That was awesome. We talked about Hangman and Swerve in the 27 word description match. So we're not going to do that again.
Match.
Jack Perry and Bryan Danielson. I thought this was the perfect choice for AEW going back to Chicago. However, the problem is going to be the CM Punk chance.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I mean,
that's why I don't like it, Jay.
Okay.
They're tone deaf. They still think that Punk was a villain in that video.
Yeah.
Sorry, Brian, go ahead.
No, it's fine. It's just like I would think you'd want to just, you're moving on. You're moving on. And I think yesterday, 2 days ago, maybe, was the anniversary of the firing, right? And it's like,
well, no, the firing was Thursday this week. The All Out presser was it was on Wednesday, was 2 years ago. So
happy anniversaries.
Big week for Joe Brooks and AEW. So
yeah. So I number one, they also have with this match too, the I will retire when I lose the title stipulation.
Oh yeah.
Danielson's doing that, right? And so I'm sorry, I can't, that already takes me out of, you're not going to win it and immediately lose it. That would be really, really silly. But yeah, I think Jack Perry as a heel in Denver, Colorado, Kansas City, Missouri, plenty of booze, and that's gonna be fine. And I'm worried though that there will be crowd hijacking because of everything CM Punk and it being Chicago. Hopefully I'm wrong, but that's what I think will happen.
Kev?
I like it because it's poking at the crowd. But there's no way he loses, or there's no way he beats Danielson.
Right.
But let me ask you this.
That'd be awesome if it did happen.
All of you. We're all probably getting in agreement. We're happy CM Punk got fired from AEW, looking back at it, right? Surprising.
Oh, yeah.
And then the debut, like we could have never guessed what would have happened to both their careers. So to be honest, the backstage situation, kudos to both because they're both doing phenomenal things. But Jungle Boy out.
No, Jack Perry. Jungle Boy is dead.
In. I think it's going to be a great match. I think the chance will not get to him. I think he'll play off them great.
But do you think they do something with production to try to black out the CM Punk chance, or do they just let it roll?
Let it roll and let
make it be real. Let it be real.
Let maybe Tony Schiavone be like, "Oh, he don't work here anymore."
Mm-hmm.
This just screams when you screwed Brett, and they kept bringing up the screw job for the first couple of years. Like Vince was very petty about that, and I think that's what this screams too. They're doing this to poke the bear. That's what it's reminding me of. And
it's like when Sean brought out Bret Hart, and it was a midget.
Yes.
Right.
And then when he brought out, like he came out when he did his heel turn with Hogan and had the Brett thing come out, like you guys are so gullible. and saying, "Oh Canada, oh how I hate this place." But it's a
Jack Perry come out to Colts personnel?
no.
That would be awesome.
That'd be fun.
I'm gonna say like the guarantee of
I'm gonna
this
say
match
no.
will be Jack Perry is going to say, "I'm sorry, I love you" before he kicks Brian Danielson. Because they play off anything like
they
that.
They do.
So that one I will make a friendly wager with that will happen.
All right. Well, if you're listening to this on Friday, it's a big night. Collision and SmackDown go head to head.
Wow.
So I'm going to read the matches from Collision and what we have so far from SmackDown, and we can discuss what you think is going to happen. So on SmackDown, Cody Rhodes addresses Solo Sikoa's challenge for the title. Street Profits and DIY take on the Bloodline in an 8-man tag match. Bayley battles Tiffany Stratton, and Giovanni Vinci returns, Mr. Vegas. Over on Collision, we're going to have Takeshita against the Beast Mortis, which is the former Black Taurus. We have Orange Cassidy and Brian Keith because Orange Cassidy disrespected CM Punk or Chris Jericho's jacket. And if Keith wins, he will pay, Orange Cassidy will pay the $7,000 jacket that he ruined during the Mimosa Mayhem Challenge. Mark Briscoe and Lance Archer, which is going to be a fun one. Deonna Purrazzo, didn't even know she was still there because we've not seen her in months, against Sheeta. And then an all-star 8-man tag match of champions, Bryan Danielson, Pac, Wheeler Yuta, and Claudio Castagnoli against the Young Bucks, Jack Perry, and Okada. So that is what we have as of right now for these two shows. Brian, we'll start with you. What do you think is going to be better? And even though we don't talk ratings with one time only, one-shot deal, who wins the ratings war, SmackDown or Collision?
SmackDown wins the ratings war. There's no question about that.
Okay.
But yeah, no Roman, huh? No Roman. I mean, maybe he has a surprise appearance, but he's not announced. So that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think they actually both sound pretty solid. I think I'm just because of my interest, I'm a little more interested in SmackDown. Bayley and Tiffany could be the show stealer for that. Yeah. I think that's fantastic. And yeah, there's some things I think on Collision are okay. But probably that all-star tag match would be the one that would probably be the most enjoyable. I could see that going 30 minutes through multiple commercial breaks. Yeah. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
So if you're watching this show or you are listening, you can't see the group chat. And Negative Joe strikes again, wanting to know where was Ricochet. Well, Joe, I will tell you where Ricochet is. Once you're done watching or listening to That Wrestling Podcast, episode 202, go check out Ricochet on Chris Van Vliet. Or no, he was on the Masked Man show yesterday, Thursday, if you're listening on Friday. So that's where you can find Ricochet, Negative Joe. But I will go to you and say,
podcast?
What do you think about Collision versus SmackDown? I've already laid out what we have so far. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, I think Collision has to be better than SmackDown. It's their go-home show. Right. I think Collision really needs to blow it out of the water when it comes in terms of entertainment value compared to SmackDown. It's going to be hard to do. We already know that who cares about ratings, but SmackDown's going to win the ratings between the two, so it's not even a contest. But I think I'm going to be paying more attention to Collision tonight because they have to knock this one out of the park for the fact that it's the day before their big event.
You know what's crazy? What's up, guys? I'm back.
Hey, Coney.
SmackDown versus Collision. They already know Collision's going to whip their ass. They're going to another network. They are leaving Fox because of what Collision is going to do to them.
With their tail between their legs.
It is going to be an ass-kicking of epic proportions. My name is Coney Tom, and I gotta go.
So, Kevin, what do you think is going to be Friday night wrestling battles?
I
Not a
think
war.
for a go home show, right? They needed to put more people that were going to be on the pay-per-view.
I feel like the main event did that.
Okada's not in the
There's
main event. Throw an Osprey. Pac's in there. Like, I feel like you could have had
Yeah.
multiple matches.
Look,
You have Young Bucks.
Kev,
That could have been fun. I think on paper, Collision looks solid. SmackDown only 3 matches with the
2 or 3 matches.
return of-
Yeah.
like it looks good, and there's going to be surprises or matches thrown in.
But Kevin, remember, it's Thursday night when we're recording.
Correct.
They'll probably add 17 more matches.
Yeah, nope, for sure.
And since it's in Chicago, it starts at like 7 p.m.
That is true.
Or-
I of course I'm just more pumped for SmackDown just because I want to see Bailey hopefully run down to the ring.
Oh,
Jesus Christ, Kevin.
this guy.
I thought we were past this. Jesus.
Oh no. Mm-mm.
God, I am glad we don't have a Blue Chew sponsorship with Kevin. Jesus Christ. So yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yay.
Hold on.
Yay!
There you go.
Need her to wear the
Thank
Baywatch
you.
blue or the Baywatch red
No,
swimsuit.
we're not doing this.
Maybe David.
How do you mute somebody?
Yeah,
Just
I'm
kidding.
not gonna mute anybody,
All
but yeah, so it's a big wrestling weekend. Are any of you gonna watch All Out live?
I don't know what's happening yet, but possibly.
I mean, your
Possibly.
daughters love professional wrestling now, Brian.
They do. Yes. Yeah, and there was some AEW on like last week that they're like, "Oh, what's this?" And I was like, "It's more wrestling, honey." And I didn't get it all into it too much.
It could be
but
all
yeah, we'll
outside too at your house.
I know.
With Matt Young, Barbara Ryan,
Right.
that other guy, I can't remember his name, Jason, maybe?
Yeah,
Jason?
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So
Yeah, we'll see. I'm taking it one day at a time. I know I have plans Friday night, and Sunday begins youth soccer and youth softball. So I got those things. Saturday is wide open. So I'd say it's 50-50. I'll take those odds.
Let me ask you this. So your daughters have been to a live event. They play with the figures, watched a little bit of WWE. What if you watched it with both your daughters when Mariah May took that heel and was just driving it into Tony Storm? And then what if your daughters would have been like, Daddy, this, and like, do you talk to them and be like, hey, it is predetermined.
do you tell them it's fake?
No,
Exactly.
no,
Wow.
I don't. No, and my wife does.
Oh, she does.
Yeah, she's the one going like, "It's not real, honey," and I'm like, "Don't listen."
Don't
This
listen to
segment
Mama.
was brought to you by the Magnet. It's still real to me.
Yeah.
Brett.
No, she doesn't do it like all the time or anything. You know, she's not overbearing about it. But yeah,
Let
she's
the
done
kids
that
enjoy
before, and I'm just like,
You got to tell her none of this shit can fly on the Jericho cruise.
yeah, no doubt. Can it swim on the Jericho cruise? Hi-oh.
Can't swim either. So
Those comments can go overboard.
Yeah, they can.
I see what you did there.
Good for you though, Bri.
Yeah. Nope. We keep
Wow.
it strictly professional.
All right. So this episode 202 in the books, at That WrestlePod on social media, at That Wrestling Podcast on YouTube. We are over 4,200 subscribers, which is cool, which means we're almost to halfway to getting our 10,000 follower plaques.
Yeah.
And because I'm a great guy, if I have to pay so you guys can get a plaque, I will front that coverage.
They do a plaque for 10,000.
I think it's 10,000 and 100,000
Wow.
and a million. So
Okay, I knew about the million.
Yeah, maybe I might be wrong. And
I
You
hope
know-
so. We'll make our own plaques if they don't.
yes, you have daughters with construction paper.
Do it.
Hopefully, they use a marker better than what Joe does
Microsoft
Wow.
for his
Word.
signs.
Yep.
So, Yeah, Brian, just close it out because you do it better than anybody in the business.
I will do that, and I don't know because I missed the beginning part of the show. Does Kevin know about the breaking news of the special guest on Monday Night Raw?
We didn't mention that, but I don't think he does.
I don't
You
even
know
know
what this
about
is?
this.
This came out.
It broke right before we recorded.
Right before we recorded, I saw this. Jackie Redmond reported Raw is in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. She confirmed that Bret Hart will be appearing on Monday Night Raw, Kev.
I thought it was going to be Owen.
Oh, come on. What?
He was better than Bret.
Well, I don't disagree.
That's something that crazy Hulk Hogan would have said.
I'm like, is Hogan on this show right now?
I did not know that, Brian. That gets me.
There you go, buddy.
Are you going to cry?
Night Raw, it is.
Are you
going
to cry again?
I want Bret to be running down that aisle.
Kev, did you see on the WWE shop? They have like this hoodie that looks like a Hitman like ring jacket.
No.
You need to go.
But I also need to go to Walmart to get that Bret t-shirt singlet thing.
The Bret Hart t-shirt at Walmart is so gross.
Oh, yeah.
I might go buy one too. I'm off. I'm off. It's like Nips Out, Nip City. Yeah, it's a good time. So, Brian, close out the show.
All right. From all of us here at Nip City, thanks for listening and watching. Whether you're watching SmackDown or Collision or All Out on Saturday night, as always, enjoy wrestling. We'll talk to you next week.
Maybe it should be that Nip City.
The mayor of Nip City.
Thanks for watching That Wrestling Podcast on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And for more That Wrestling Podcast content, follow @ThatWrestlePod on social media.